name is Jason JROCK Houston, and tonight I'm speaking with lead singer Alie Jorgen. And Allie, you're the lead singer of the band Reverie. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yay! Good job. It's hard to pronounce. Reverie. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I understand that that's a French name for the Dream, which is kind of an interesting name for a band. How did you guys come up with that?
Well, we were first looking for a name. We didn't want to just put a name together. We wanted to try to put something together that meant something to us and to the people that were around us. And everybody's looking for a dream, and everybody has a dream. And we thought the Reverie message out there is to have everybody follow their dream no matter what. And we thought that kind of just went well together. So we just decided to call it The Dream, and follow your dream, and don't let anybody stop you.
Well, I like that, and I think the name itself is like no other band out there, so people are definitely going to remember the name, and the name definitely stands out. So I think you already got one, that going for you. Now, what year was the band formed?
We came together in 2010. We were the drummer and I were in a club watching the keyboard player playing cover tunes, and he threw in some of his originals, and we were so surprised. They were really ethereal, and they just sounded so amazing. We're thinking, wow. And I was thinking, you know what, I could write some vocals and some lyrics to this stuff, and it could sound pretty interesting. So we approached him later and asked him if he wanted to start a gothic rock band, and he did, and the Reverie was born.
And so let me ask you, Allie, is this your first professional band you've been in, or have you been in other bands before?
Well, I've done a lot of singing, like some studio singing and covers. I did some blues for a while, but a full-on project of recording and doing shows and videos and all of that. Yeah, this is kind of the first one.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to say that at one point you were singing blues type of music. Go from that to goth. That must be quite a change.
I think the rock, the basis of rock,
yeah,
blues kind of covers a lot of genres. But yeah, branching out, the new EP coming out is going to be totally different. It's going to be really heavy. Drummers doing a lot of double bass on there. There's going to be a lot more. It's going to be an interesting dichotomy because there's going to be opera vocals and screaming, growling vocals at the same time. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so the band's been together since 2010, and is this your guys' first release you're putting out?
We did a 3-song EP called Truth and Lies. That was produced by Ron Nevison. He is the producer that worked with just about everybody. He's worked with Led Zeppelin and The Who and Heart, and he was awesome, and he taught us a lot. And then our full-length 12-song CD, Yes, Dark Symphony, is the first full-length that we've done.
And so what was it like working with Ron, and how did you guys hook up with the producer of his magnitude, somebody that's just an up-and-coming band?
Well, that's the really interesting story. After we got together with the mysterious O, who's our keyboard player, we wrote a song, our very first song, called Hold Me Down, and the message of the song was, everybody said, you sure you want to do gothic rock or gothic metal? Don't you want to do something more mainstream like pop or dance? Or we're like, no, we want to do gothic rock, gothic metal. We like the imagery. We like the stories that we can tell. So everybody was kind of in our face about it and said, we don't really think you guys should go that way. So we wrote a song saying we're going to go that way and nothing's going to hold us down. And it was called Hold Me Down, and just kind of on a fluke, we sent it in demo form to the Allie Music Awards, to the guy, Al Bowman, who runs the Allie Music Awards, just as a demo. And he got it. He really liked the song, and he goes, are you guys looking for a producer? And we're thinking, you know what? We do need to make an EP. Do you know anybody? And he hooked us up with Ron, and it was awesome. Wow.
And so talk a little bit about the new EP that's coming out. I mean, do you have a release date for that yet, or is it something that's still in the works?
It's definitely still in the works. It will be coming out mid 2015. It's going to be, like I said, a lot heavier, a lot more gothic. There's going to be tons of imagery on it, and the vocals, like I said, are going to go the gamut from opera to growling, screaming. It's going to be pretty interesting.
I mean, I was reading stuff on your Facebook page where people have described you as like a female-fronted symphonic dream theater, which is kind of an interesting, description. How would you describe your sound?
Well, I think the EP and a lot of dark symphony, we got called Evanescence meets Dream Theater, and I think the Evanescence part came from the clean vocals and some of the songwriting, and obviously the Dream Theater part is from the band. I mean, the band is amazing. The guitar player actually really likes Dream Theater. Actually, we all really like Dream Theater. The drummer loves Dream Theater, the bass player, keyboard player. So musically, they really like left of center changes and chord progressions and kind of taking the listener places where they're not expecting to go. And then vocally, I came in over the top and kept it reasonably simple and clean and kind of, I guess, more of an Amy B approach. But the next record's going to be totally different, musically and vocally.
And naming your band The Dream, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of living out your dream right now, your musical dream. I mean, did you ever imagine that you'd be play? Because I was reading you guys played like the Roxy and the Viper Room. I mean, what was that like for you? The first time you guys played those places.
Well, the interesting thing is when you're in it and you're writing it and you're trying to get the record out and you're trying to make it as good as you can. You're focusing on it. You don't really think past that moment. You're living in the moment, and you're not really saying, well, I want to do this and that, and that's my goal for this band. You kind of take it day by day, and we were really fortunate in that it came out, and we had Ron Nevelson, and people really liked it, and they a lot of people knew Ron Nevelson, so it got to a lot of places, and we were just kind of blessed and fortunate that we got to play the Roxy and the Key Club before it shut down, and some really, really great, interesting things happening. And the most exciting thing, of course, that's happened to us is we got our song in a movie, and that still kind of just blows our minds.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because your publicist Doug was telling me, and I was reading a little bit on the Facebook page that you guys are involved with this movie Lake Erie. Can you tell us how you guys got involved with the movie and what exactly you starred in the movie or what?
Well, it's just a song placement, and the interesting thing about it is the dream. We have a song called the Reverie, which, as you know, means the dream in French, so it's called the dream. And we were playing at the Viper Room, and our photographer was shooting our live pictures that night. She came up to us after the show and said, you know what, I'm working on this film, and it's this gothic horror film, and your song would be perfect for this movie, and I got to give them the CD and tell them all about you. And so she did, and we forgot all about it because you get really busy and you kind of didn't hear back, so we just thought, okay, that was nice. And then several months later, they call the drummer back who manages our band, and they're like, oh my gosh, we just heard this song, and the first line in the song is ghostly figures in the night, and that's what the movie's about. And the movie's about the girl. Is she in a dream or is it reality? And that's the chorus. And she's like, you wrote the words to the song for this movie. And they're like, we got to have the song. And so it was pretty cool. It became like the theme song for the film.
And I was reading here, too, on the Facebook page, it says something about you guys have a post-production Kickstarter campaign. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's about?
We were able, most of the cast and crew, a lot of them are in Florida, and we were able to get them out to LA for the cast and crew party at the House of Blues. We kind of took over the Foundation Room. It was a huge party. We got Lance Henriksen out, who's the star of Aliens. He's also the star of this film. And it was a big blowout party, and it was like the wrap party. Okay, the film's done. Everybody's really excited. And so everything was done, and they were putting the soundtrack together and putting our song on back credits and getting all the music in the film. The guy that did Friday the 13th, Henry Manfredi, did the scene music, the scary music. And it was almost finished, and it was like, and they started getting interest from major studios, and it was like, the money's running out. And so it's so close to being finished that we just need a little bit more, and then we can completely wrap it up and get it to the studios and get it on the big screen. And so that's really all our goal. We're really excited.
Oh, so that's what you kind of answered. I was going to ask you, a plan for it to like be a film that goes directly to DVD, or plan is to put it in the big theaters?
We really are trying to get it on the big screen, and so that's kind of what the Kickstarter is about. And they've already actually met their first goal. They passed their first goal, and I think they might be on to their second. And then, so that's just awesome. If we can get it together, they're planning on having the movie premiere here in LA, and it should be a pretty big deal. We're pretty excited.
And let me ask you, what's it like? Have you seen any of the final, like any of the film with your song actually going over the credits, as you say? And what was that like to see your song like actually playing in a movie?
You know what? I just dream about that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting to be sitting in the movie theater and watch the film, and then have the back credits come on and have the song come on. It's probably going to blow my mind.
Yeah, and you're telling me like your band, the music and stuff. It's very visual as well as musical. And so, on that note, I'd like to ask you, are there any plans to make any music videos? And I imagine those would be pretty visual, if you know what I mean, as far as really, more than just you guys playing on the stage, I imagine.
We do have one video out there. I'm not sure if Doug sent that to you. That's the one that came out for Hold Me Down. That was, like I said, the first song that we did, the one that it won the award, actually, when we sent it to the Allie Music Awards. They called us back when we were in the studio with Ron and said, you guys won Breakout Single of the Year. So that was pretty weird. But that song made a video, and it's cool because it's in a house that's used here in Hollywood for all the haunted house movies.
Wow.
So it is kind of what you're saying. It's kind of gothic and visual, and you'd have to check it out. It's called Hold Me Down on YouTube, and I'm walking through this haunted house, and it's kind of it's both. It's the band playing downstairs in the haunted mansion, and then me kind of going through the haunted mansion, and there's like spirits and stuff. It's pretty interesting. Our director had a really good vision for the song.
Well, being a band that's been only together a couple of years, you guys are on a pretty good climb on winning these LA Music Awards and stuff, and that's great to get accolades from the music industry. But what's it like when you go on your Facebook page and you see people like making comments about how great they think your music is? I mean, again, these are just people that are checking out your site maybe first time hearing one of your songs, and they take the time to leave a comment or whatever on your page.
Well, to me personally, that kind of means, I appreciate the accolades from the music industry, but to actually be able to reach people out there with our music and our lyrics and actually help people, and that's kind of what we're all about. To be able to reach somebody and have them take the time to make a comment, that means everything to us.
And so, being that you've got your song in this movie and you're working on a new album, and I was curious, do you have any interest in maybe doing any type of acting yourself, or getting in movies that way?
You know what? I've never really thought about it. I really love what I do. I love writing songs. I love telling stories and trying to reach people, and I love performing on stage. I think it would be interesting to have the band do like a bit part in a club,
Yeah, that'd be.
And then a nightclub and we're performing. I think that would be kind of fun.
I think a cool thing that you guys got going through your band, like I guess, like you said that you've met the keyboard player, you and the guitar player, and you kind of form a band around him. I think that's great because a lot of times, people have misconceptions that rock music with keyboards, sucks or whatever, but I think like a lot of times for writing starts with the piano, and stuff, and I think it's great to have keyboards or pianos in your music because it just shows you that it's got that other layer that some bands don't even have.
Yeah, we enjoy the other layer. Like I said, the new one will actually be even another layer because we're going to probably add dueling guitars, so it might have kind of an Iron Maiden-ish guitar with the keyboards. But the interesting thing is our songs are written on the drums. Now that's pretty interesting. The drummer, he'll hear a whole song in his head. So he'll hear like, okay, I hear an intro, I hear a chorus and a verse and a bridge, and he'll lay out the whole skeleton of the song just on drums. He hears it in his head. Then he gives it to the guitar player. He goes, wow, I hear that, and I hear things in my head. So then he puts all this stuff down, and then they put on the layers of the bass and the keyboards, and then they give it to me, and then I hear stuff in my head. So it's kind of like somehow we're all mentally connected, and the song comes out. It's pretty interesting.
So as far as the songwriting, then, would you say more times than not that the music comes first, and then you kind of later on, once the music is recorded, you come up with the lyrics and add your vocals later?
It's always that way. They always, again, it starts on the drums, and then the guitar comes next, and then the keys and bass, and they give the music track to me, and I listen to what the story is, and I hear what the music's trying to tell me, and I write a story, and I write the vocals and the melody, and that's how we put it all together.
And let me ask, who were some of your heroes growing up as far as, other singers you listened to or, that influenced you?
Well, I have so many. There's so many amazing, amazing vocalists out there. And I run the gamut of the extremes of from Gloria Jensen of Nightwish to Alyssa of Arch Enemy. I mean, that's the gamut, and that's a whole lot of styles right there.
Yeah, that's a huge range right there, and it's now when you're recording songs or even writing, I guess, do you have a preference as far as do you prefer belting out those heavy tunes where you have to hit the high Rob Halford vocals, or do you prefer doing the softer, more melodic stuff?
It depends on the way the music's structured, and it depends on Jeff, the guitar player. He's so amazing. The tones and the things that he gets out of his guitar will inspire me to hit it hard and scream and growl, or if he goes lighter or more acoustic, it brings out the softer. It just he kind of drives me on what he's writing. That kind of helps where the vocals are going to go.
And I got to tell you, Allie, to be honest, I never heard of your band until Doug had contacted me about setting up this interview, but I immediately went on your Facebook page. I checked out the music you had posted. I was pretty impressed, and one thing that impressed me about the sound of the band is I can honestly say you guys are very original sounding. You don't sound like anything else out there that I can really say you're trying to clone or sound like. You guys got an original thing going. So is that something you set out to do when you formed the band?
Yeah, I think so, and thank you very much. That's a very big compliment. We all have so many different influences. Like I said, one of the things that we all really like is Dream Theater. That's kind of the common thread, but we all come from so many different backgrounds that I think that helps make Reverie just sound really unique.
Yeah,
whenever we put our stuff together, it's always going to sound different.
Yeah, and when you talk to people about about your band, or you read stuff that people post about the band, does it bother you that one of the first things they bring up is it's a female-fronted band? Would you rather just concentrate on the music and not so much the fact that it's fronted by a woman?
It doesn't really bother me. It's just part of the music industry right now, and there's so many amazing women out there fronting bands. I'm actually very happy and proud to be part of the scene. I think there's a lot more female-fronted bands now than there was, say, maybe 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I think it's something that's going to keep growing that way, and there's quite a few things that you can do as a female that you can as a guy.
Yeah.
Just fronting the band in general, we have a lot more of the visual things that we can do, and no, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of awesome. I like being in the girls' club and the boys' club. I like being in the whole club.
And so what is that like? As far as being in a band with, or you're the only girl, or do you just feel like these are just these are my coworkers, the guys that are in the band?
Pretty much, I'm treated like one of the boys. It's kind of like I don't know if you have brothers or sisters, but it's kind of like if you have a lot of brothers growing up, it's kind of the same thing. It's just kind of one of the boys, and you still have your family fights, and it's very much a family. It's very much like being with siblings. You work together. We're putting a tour together. You work on the road together, and it's a lot of time spent together, and you just get along like family.
And as far as like creating the music and the songwriting, I was curious. Would you say that the band is kind of a democracy where, like, if you guys record a tune and maybe not everybody likes that song, and maybe take a vote or something, or it doesn't get on the album unless everybody likes it?
Well, the weird thing about that is, as we're writing it, we write in pieces. Like the drummer, like I said, starts it, then the guitar player, and then the bass player. So they tweak it as they go. So by the time it gets to me, they like what they've done.
That's cool.
I can honestly tell you there's times they've given me a music track, like Dark Symphony, for instance, and I'm listening to this going, what the heck am I going to do this song? And I have no idea. Or the song Raven. Jeff came up with this manic guitar line. I mean, he's going crazy on the guitar, and they give me this track, and I'm thinking, what in the world can I say about this? And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? That just sounds like somebody lost their mind. To me, it sounds like somebody lost their mind. And then I started thinking, you know what? In the later days of Ed Brown's life, he did lose his mind. So I'm going to write a song about Ed Brown Poe, and I'm going to call it Raven. And it worked out perfect. So you just never know where it's going to go. But by the time I get it, they've perfected their music track, so it's usually pretty awesome.
I mean, I think that's pretty cool, the fact that I think that way everybody feels like they're really, contributing, and it's kind of interesting. Like, typically you think of people writing songs where they might typically write off, get a song created off of a riff, or maybe they have an idea for lyrics to tell a story or whatever. I think it's pretty interesting that these guys come up with the music first, and a lot of times the music kind of influences you to, not necessarily come up with a story, but create the words as you listen to the music.
No, it pretty much does tell a story. It's pretty much, I listen to what the guitars and the drums are trying to say, and something will clip in my head, and I'm thinking, okay, that's what they're trying to say, and I kind of write a story around that. So yeah, our songwriting is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Because typically, like a lot of bands, they'll say, I'm going to sit down and write a song about a fight I had with my girlfriend or whatever, and they just kind of, something simple, or I love you or whatever. And I think it's cool that the music, can kind of influence you to, come up with the words of a story. That's a kind of unique thing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell them, okay, we have to write a song about this. I just don't think that would work for us. For us, the best thing is just to let my mind go wild, and whatever comes out, comes out.
And I think that helps too, to keep it fresh. Where when you listen to the CD, that not every song sounds exactly the same. It's kind of a unique experience, unique story all its own from a listener.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The music is so different. I mean, they put together so many, just based on the drums and then the guitars and everything, goes so many different places that when I get it and I hear all these different stories, that it's just the vocals are just going to go different places as well because the music's so different.
And let me ask, are you guys signed to a label, or do you release your own music?
Dark Symphony was our own label, so we're not really sure what's going to happen with the new one. Just we'll stay tuned, right?
Yeah, it goes both ways, because if you're signed to a pretty decent label, then you got the benefit of them, helping you with money and finances and that. But then on the flip side, if you release it yourself, you have no middleman. You have no guy in a suit telling you, oh, no, I don't hear a single here. Go back and write something else. I think it's great that bands do what you guys are doing, and that you could kind of. You could design your own album covers. You could you have nobody telling you, no, this isn't going to sell. Go back and write something else. I think it's great that, because then if you release it and it's a hit, you reap all the rewards, if you will.
Yeah, and I have to agree. Having the creative control that's definitely where we would want to go. The labels would be a smaller label, and it would just mostly be to kind of help with tour support.
Yeah.
But as far as the albums go, normally we do all that ourselves because we have the vision of where it's going to go, the visual, the artwork, the music. But it helps sometimes to have a little industry behind you to help you, with your tour and stuff like that.
And so the last thing I wanted to ask you about, Allie, as far as the shows you got, the live performances you've done so far, it's pretty much local shows, or have you got a chance to go and tour much outside of Southern California?
That's going to be coming up next year. So far it's been just Allie and Orange County, and it's been awesome. We love everybody and all the promoters and venues. We've had an awesome time. But yeah, we're gonna get out and explore out there a little bit.
And would you say that LA area and Orange County people, they equally love you guys? I mean, do you find between those two areas that you're more popular? There's more demand in one area, or would you say it's about the same?
Well, we definitely have our own unique following. We've been called gothic rock, gothic metal, and it's people definitely into the visual and imagery and the style of music and what we're writing about, the different story matter. So I would say they're all over. They're in LA and Orange County, and we're hoping that we can get out there and connect with them across the U.S. too. That would be awesome.
And the last thing I want to ask you too about, talking a little bit about Facebook and the internet. I imagine you must have people send you emails, and it must trip you out at times to think, maybe let's say some guy that from Japan or something sends you an email, and you've never even played there yet, and some kid in Japan is checking out your music.
We actually have our CD for sale, and it's on CD Baby and Bandcamp or Zoogle or one of those band things.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, a lot of Europeans buy our music, and then they reach out to us and say, I've given it to a friend, or I have a record store here in Germany, and I've put it in there. And we've actually got some really good feedback from overseas. So it would be really awesome to be able to reach out and connect with these people and be able to go over there and play for them.
Yeah, because, it's amazing. I've talked to musicians. They tell me that there's the people overseas in Europe. I mean, there's huge demand for rock music, and the fans just they just love it so much, and it's kind of, you make me laugh when you say record store. Kids today say, what's a record store? You may remember back in the day what an actual record store is. I mean, back in they had the huge Tower Records back in Hollywood. Back in the day, and it was quite a thing to go every Tuesday, check out all the new releases. I miss that, but that's why I gotta say I still love physical CDs. I hope the CD never really totally dies out, but it's been great talking to you, Allie. So I'd like to ask you to please keep in touch and let me know when the CD drops, and we can do this again and talk more in detail about the CD once it gets released, and help you guys get the word out about that.
Oh, definitely, and thank you so much for your time. And yeah, just kind of FYI, that what we were told is Japan, they actually sell CDs. They actually have stores there. And we were shocked when they told us that they were going to put the CDs in stores. We're like, really? They still do that?
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Everybody that the people that you talk to, you listen. That's an awesome outlet. Because they actually do have CD stores over there. That's a big deal for them. So, just FYI. Yeah, thanks so much for your time. It's been awesome talking to you.
I love it. Yeah, it's been awesome talking to you. And like I said, before Doug, hit me up to get this interview set up, I never heard anything about the band, but I'm glad he turned me on to you guys because I think you got a great, fresh, original sound. Like I said, I really urge people to check it out. And just for your FYI, this interview will be going up probably the first or second week in January. Once it does, I'll be sure to let you guys know. And like I said, once the new CD drops, maybe we can do it again. I'd love to do what I can to help spread the word about the band, because I think you guys got a great sound that people need to know more about.
Awesome, and I guess I should put out my website address.
Yeah, whatever you want to do before we call it a day. I'd just like to thank you once again, Allie. Take time out of your busy schedule to do this. And yeah, now before we go, if there's anything else you'd like to say to people, be my guest.
Yeah, I'd like to say again, so thank you so much to everybody that supported us from the beginning and all the new friends that we have. You guys are awesome. And for all the new people, you got to check it out. It's Reverie at LeReverie.com. And all the news and everything that's on there, we'll be doing a sneak peek of some of our new music. We just put out a single. We wrote a single called Hounds of Hell, which is our new single, kind of off our new EP. And just some really, really cool things coming up for 2015. So everybody stay tuned.
Okay, well, Allie, I'm gonna say goodbye now, and thank you once again, and wish you happy holidays. And like I said, first, second week in January, we're going to be going up. Thanks so much, and we'll be talking to you again in the real near future.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you as well.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.